It's all about humanity.
Welcome, everyone. Great to see you all joining in the chat. I'm Brian, the UK Bitcoin Master. I am part of the Bitcoin Revolution. Do you like the t-shirt? Welcome in. Smash the like button. Don't forget to share this where you are watching, where you are listening. Today is Monday, the 24th of March, 2025. I nearly said November then. March 2025. As always, if you have a strong Bitcoin hand, you will always do well. And that is what I try to achieve by running this channel. Help people build a strong hand like the likes of BitcoinMaster in my chat helped me to build a strong hand when I first got into Bitcoin way back in 2017. So what I'm trying to do is pay it forward. That's all I want to do. But if you're here and you're new and you're finding this channel for the first time, or indeed Bitcoin, can I urge you, please do your own research and don't take anything I say as financial advice. It is not meant to be financial advice. It is just me sounding off twice a week, talking about my passion for Bitcoin and maybe sharing some news stories, videos, etc. that can help those noobs build their own strong hand. So that's why I run this channel. So if you're new, can I encourage you, please go into the show notes and find the link that is referenced Linktree. Click it. Go here and follow me on my backup channel, UK Bitcoiner, because this channel's gone down once. They don't give you any warning. It just gets taken down. And if that does happen, I'll move my streaming software across to there and I will go live, and you would have continuity, which is so important. And there's lots of other links there as well, so do go check them out. I would ask you or encourage you, get on the Orange Pill app. There are tens of thousands of people on the Orange Pill app now, where you can connect with Bitcoiners all around the world. If you're not on it and you want to get on it and try it out, you can take a 1-month subscription for the price of a cup of coffee. You can see what it's like. And then once you subscribed, you can get 5,000 sats from Orange Pill app for subscribing. But don't take my word for why you should be on the Orange Pill app. Quick video.
When I finally got Bitcoin, it hit me like a lightning bolt. This was the currency of the future, the only money that truly mattered. But there was a problem. I was a lone hodler in a sea of skeptics. That is, until I discovered the Orange Pill app. Suddenly, I was connected with a network of like-minded Bitcoin enthusiasts right in my own city. The Orange Pill app is more than just a social network. It's a community of passionate individuals determined to change the world, one Satoshi at a time.
And that is what we are trying to do here, people. Change the world, but one Satoshi at a time, one live stream at a time, one YouTube upload at a time. So get on the Orange Pill app. As somebody just put in the chat, Mike Derdampfer, welcome, Mike. OPA is great. So don't take my word for this, people. There are many on Orange Pill app that say it's fantastic. Okay, so you're looking at the website of the Best of Exmoor. They are the show sponsors. They're Bitcoiners. Look at the top left. You'll see Bitcoin accepted here. And they offer holidays, vacations, vacation cottages, 200 of them, I believe, in the United Kingdom, where you can pay with Bitcoin. And there is everything imaginable for a good holiday/vacation. So do check them out. Scan the QR code or click the link in the show notes. I know that any Bitcoiner worth their salts at this moment in time is not going to spend their Bitcoin, their sats on a holiday. But there's going to come a point where that will change. And just like the guy that you get your meat from, just like the guy that fixes your car, the company that allows you to pay for a hotel room in Bitcoin or a flight in Bitcoin or get your haircut in Bitcoin, you want to know where you can vacation and spend in sats when that economy switches, if that makes sense. So I would encourage you, do check out the best of Exmoor. Okay, so back to me. Let's see who we got on in my chat, as I always do. Chelsea Baz is in the house. JB Bitcoiner is with us. Big Mike, good to see you. Yorkie Bitcoiner, John G, Mr. W, good to see you, buddy. BitcoinMeister's with us. Elaine, Mrs. UK, is in the house. Steve Redding. Eddie Willers is here. Mike the Dampfer, welcome. As I've said, Mike, good to have you with us. Rocky Palumbo, just in time. I wonder if you're still in the United... Oh, yeah. Sorry, Brian, still in the UAE. Well, hope you're having a good time out there, Justin. Who else have we got? Johnny Midas is with us. Vinny Rondo is in the house. We've got Carlinasia. I'm sorry if I butchered that, but welcome. Good to see you as well. Mr. 60's just joined us. I'm using a different app here to see who's in the house, so forgive me. Look, welcome in, everyone. It is great to have you all here. If you want to shout out live on the show, type in UK Bitcoin Master, then a message. It will light up in orange for me, not you, and I'll gladly give you a shout out. Okay, tonight's show may be short, and I'm okay with that. If you're okay with that, I've got no news I want to share with you. You know, Bitcoin is sideways. There's no major news going on out there right now, unless you're watching podcasts and you're hearing what seasoned individuals in the space are saying. And that's what I do to help me stay bullish. And if I'm honest with you, I've got 3 video clips that I want to run past you all this evening. This morning, wherever you are in the world, because I cannot see why everyone is not crazy bullish right now. Why? Because I'm going to roll the clock back to 2017 when I got into Bitcoin. And I've said this a million times before. We had everyone batting against us. I remember the block size wars. I remember the Bcash forks, and then we had the BSV fork and the, fake Toshi and all that sort of stuff, and all these ICOs that were coming out, and, EOS and another one, they were going to take the world by storm. They were the new Bitcoin, and Jamie Dimon talking about Bitcoin being a pet rock, and Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, calling it rat poison squared, and they're going to close it down, and the likes of Peter Schiff beating his drum. And it was just, you could have been forgiven for thinking, I put my money into this and I really hope it succeeds, but could they close it down? Could they do something with it? And today, the whole landscape has changed. We're 8 years down the road. We can even go back just 3 years to 2022, when we had the SBX collapse and all those banks were going under. Or was it 23? It was 22, wasn't it? And, again, the Bitcoin world was in turmoil, and everybody thought the world was ending. It's like, get a life, people, for goodness sake. Because when you zoom out, as I keep saying, the chart is up and to the right. But when you zoom in, it is as volatile as hell, and you think the whole thing's going to zero. And you know what? It isn't. And like I've said, the landscape has completely changed. Okay, who would have imagined? Okay, I want to say something. I want to preface what I'm about to run, this video. I have no time for politicians. I don't like politicians. I think politicians lie to get into office, and then they don't deliver on their promises, and they actually knew beforehand that they can't deliver on those promises. So I just wanted to say that. Phil C., good to see you, buddy. Thanks for coming and joining us, as always. So I don't like politicians, and I didn't particularly want politicians and banks and institutions to get their hands on our beautiful Bitcoin. But to think they were not going to is naive. That's my take. They were always going to get into Bitcoin, because once they see it wasn't going to be stopped, it's here to stay, and it's going to eat into the financial system across the globe. It was very much, if we can't beat them, I suppose we better join them. And so there we are. So that said, who would have imagined that in 2025 we would have the sitting United States of America president live stream into a conference and say this?
I know everyone has their phones out, but please give a massive round of applause. Help me welcome the President of the United States.
A very big hello to everyone at the Blockworks Digital Assets Summit. It's an honor to speak with you about how the United States is going to dominate crypto and the next generation of financial technologies. And it's not going to be easy, but we're way ahead. Just 2 weeks ago, we hosted the first ever White House Digital Asset Summit, bringing together many of the world's top leaders in crypto for a conversation led by our White House AI and crypto czar, David Sachs, who's a fantastic and very brilliant guy. That same week, I signed an order creating the brand new strategic Bitcoin reserve and a U.S. digital asset stockpile, which will allow the federal government to maximize the value of its holdings instead of foolishly selling them for a fraction of their long-term value, which is exactly what Biden did. He got a fraction of their value. We're ending the last administration's regulatory war on crypto and Bitcoin, and that includes stopping the lawless Operation Choke Point 2.0.
Get in there.
Operation Choke Point went beyond regulation, and I mean far beyond. It was a form of lawfare through government weaponization. Frankly, it was a disgrace. But as of January 20th, 2025, all of that is over. I've also called on Congress to pass landmark legislation creating simple, common-sense rules for stablecoins and market structure. With the right legal framework, institutions large and small will be liberated to invest, innovate, and take part in one of the most exciting technological revolutions in modern history. It's so big, it's, I think, as big as you can get. Pioneers like you will be able to improve our banking and payment system and promote greater privacy, safety, security, and wealth for American consumers and businesses alike. You will unleash an explosion of economic growth, and with the dollar-backed stablecoins, you'll help expand the dominance of the U.S. dollar, and many, many years to come, it'll be at the top, and that's where we want to keep it. We only want to keep it at the top, always. I can already see that the energy and passion of the crypto community is the kind of spirit that built our country, and it is exciting to watch as you invent the future of finance. And right here, it's going to be right here in the USA, the good old USA. Together, we will make America the undisputed Bitcoin superpower and the crypto capital of the world. Thank you. Good luck. God bless America.
Okay. So I'm not into politicians, but for me personally, that was fantastic to hear the sitting president of the largest superpower on earth saying what he just said. How far have we come? Now, why am I saying that? How far can we go in the next 8 years? I've been in 8 years and I've seen those changes. How far do you think we can go in the next 8 years? Absolutely mind-blowing. And I do want to pick up on what Phil just said in the chat, and I actually do agree with you, Phil. President Trump has been delivering on his promises. Free Ross, Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, not sure what wall. Oh, yeah, the wall. Yeah, the wall. Yeah, I'm with you now. So at least he is a leading politician that has come good on his word, which is superb. And for me, again, whilst I'm not into politicians, whilst I got into Bitcoin to make money and then quickly realized this was about changing the world and making the world a better, fairer place, and hence the Bitcoin Revolution t-shirt, it is so awesome to hear a US president talking like this. So that's video number one. Now we switch tact. Because Barefoot Barry, good to see New Zealand in the house. The next one, I love this guy. Now, he does use a few expletives, but you've all heard, if you haven't heard of, where have you been? American Hodl. And he was recently on BTC Sessions, Why Are We Bullish, with Samson Mao and Harry Suddick. I think I've said that right. And American Hodl said something really key, and we do not see how profound changes are until we look back at them through history. And history is littered with these changes that at the time there was unrest, there was two sides to the argument, there was, people for it and institutions for it, and then those against it, and this battle went on. But then if it was right, it won out, and Bitcoin's going to win out as well. Now, this clip is American Hodl, and he's referring to the Sputnik moment. And if you don't know what the Sputnik is, you've got to go away and do some research. And I won't steal the thunder, but it says, and how most people didn't get the absolute significance of the Sputnik moment and what that meant for the future. And of course, we can only see by looking back at that now. And I think it's the same for Bitcoin. And people, the masses out there, are just not getting that Bitcoin is our Sputnik moment. So rather than listen to me try and butcher it to death, just listen to what American Hodl has to say here.
Like, the strategic Bitcoin reserve is one of the most bullish things I've seen in my entire time in Bitcoin. And there's a big difference between how normies perceive it and how Bitcoiners perceive it, because Bitcoiners have been waiting for things like this to start happening for the better part of a decade, even longer than that. It reminded me of a Sputnik moment. Right, like when Sputnik flew overhead, that was a really big deal. But the American public's perception of it was, back at that time in the what would that have been? Early 1960s, late 1950s. The government told everybody on the radio and television, "Go out tonight and look at Sputnik, everybody. It's going to be amazing," whatever. And then what the average person in America saw was they looked up, and there was this like little light that went above their head for a fraction of a second, and they all just turned to each other like, "That's it? That's what we're supposed to be excited about or whatever." But obviously, this was a very big deal, because for millions of years, humanity had been staring up at the heavens, and there had been separation between us and it, the celestial bodies, and now we had pierced the veil, and our technological supremacy was growing, and rocketry was going from this thing that was like, sort of a niche hobbyist activity to, within 10 years, it was going to put a man on the moon. We were going to have ICBMs. It was going to be a core part of our national strategic defense and infrastructure, et cetera. So it was a really, really big moment. And what was interesting is there was a public disconnect where the public didn't understand what was going on at all, but every government around the world immediately understood what had just happened. And I think that's the same thing. So Sputnik kicked off the space race. I think the SBR just kicked off the SAT race. And you now realize that Bitcoin is no longer optional. You are forced into the Bitcoin paradigm, just like rocketry, advanced rocketry was no longer optional after Sputnik. You are now forced into this. Otherwise, you don't want your enemies to own the future, right? And so the minute the SBR got signed, every central bank head, every finance minister, every president in the world had this dossier dropped on their desk that said Bitcoin is strictly limited to 21 million. There will never be any more Bitcoin. Bitcoin is digital gold. Like, it had all these amazing things in it that are of course true, and the things we say to each other all the time. But now people in extreme positions of power across the globe had to reckon with this, had to deal with this, right? So not only did it cause this shift in perception, just like Sputnik did, but it also is going to create this wave of innovation, adoption. There is no world in which Bitcoin doesn't become the global money. And of course, a bunch of crazed libertarians thought that meant that we were going to dissolve all structures. And yeah, we do dissolve all structures, because a Bitcoin-enabled and Bitcoin-powered government is not the same as a fiat-enabled and fiat-powered government. So yeah, we are dissolving the structure, but it doesn't mean nothing stands in its place and we all just go live in the woods and drink raw milk straight from the cow. That's how it's going to happen, right? There will be a new government, a Bitcoin government, that is going to stand in the place of the fiat government at some point. The horse is already through the gates of Troy. There's no going back at this point. Yeah, man, this is it's a big fucking deal. I don't know how to get this. This is a pre and post moment. That's how big of a deal this is. So if you're not bullish about this, you are asleep. Your head is in the sand.
What an incredible... I could listen to Hodl all day. And if you actually listen to enough of his podcast, he talks a whole bunch of sense. Yeah, he starts ranting and he starts shooting the expletives out everywhere, but he makes a whole bunch of sense, and he's a very clever guy. So, for me, I just feel that, Bitcoin coming into existence, and now, bang up to date, the strategic Bitcoin reserve, like he said, once Sputnik happened, the space race was on, the SATs race is most definitely on. When you look at all the companies, corporations stacking SATs like madmen, the SATs race is on, and miss the damn thing at your peril, people. And all I'm trying to do here is impart my passion, my belief, my enthusiasm to you so that you will get down the rabbit hole if you're not already down there. And I'm sure most of the people in my chat are down the rabbit hole. But you really should be thinking, how do I get my hands on as much of this as I can? Because pretty soon it will be out of reach. And you're not just buying a bit of tech, by the way. You're not buying a stock. You are buying your tiny portion of the 21 million max supply of Bitcoin that will ever be in existence. And it can't be debased. And it can't be inflated away. And there's going to be a limited supply that ultimately 8 billion people will need to and want to use. And that will drive the value of your Bitcoin holdings up way further than you could ever imagine by trying to trade this thing and earn more Bitcoin. Just stack, people. Now, that's not financial advice. I can't give you financial advice. But the tongue-in-cheek statement is you just got to stack. Okay, last video. We switch again. I recently watched Saylor's keynote speech at, I can't think what conference it was now, and he went through his 21 reasons why Bitcoin. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I know, there are different people with different views on Saylor, but at the end of the day, like I said at the top of the video, if you think that you're going to come into Bitcoin and in your lifetime it is going to moon without institutions and nation states coming in, I don't know what planet you're on, because the adoption would be so much slower. So therefore, we need the likes of Saylor to create the adoption, and he's done so much for the space, even though some people don't like him. And I get that and I respect that. But he went through his reasons why Bitcoin is going to eat the world. And he said, Bitcoin now is mainstream. And it really is. It is legitimate. And he said, there's a lot more he said in this video, but he said, it is either going to zero or it is going into the millions. I believe you call that binary. One way or the other. There's no middle ground. So what do you believe? If you believe it's not going to zero, then you believe it's going to millions. And if it's going to millions, we're back to, why aren't you stacking like a madman? Okay, let's play this last clip.
Bitcoin is legitimate. A short phrase, a powerful phrase. It wasn't legitimate 4 months ago. A year ago, if you try to remember where you were and what you were thinking in March of 2020, when the entire crypto industry was under massive onslaught, everybody's getting sued, right? And the most likely future was everything gets ground into the dirt. We have completely come 180 degrees. This is the most powerful person in the world sitting in the most sacred place, the Oval Office, flanked by 2 cabinet members telling you Bitcoin is digital gold, a store of value, a commodity. Not just a commodity. If the U.S. seized 10,000 securities, all your artwork, all your houses, your planes, your trains, your automobiles, every currency, everything of value, your diamonds, your gold brooches, your silver, they'd sell it, right? The only thing the United States does not sell is its national parks, its nuclear stockpiles, and its Bitcoin. Now, that's a shockwave that will be heard around the world. That just happened, literally days ago. It's going to take a while for that to ripple through the entire federal government. Then it will ripple through the state governments. Then it will ripple through the banking system, the insurance system, the credit rating agencies. Then it will ripple to all the banks in Mexico and El Salvador and Argentina and then Europe. It's rippling through the banks in Hong Kong and China and Japan and Abu Dhabi and Europe. How long will it take? Well, how long does it take for a profound good idea to move its way through layers and layers of bureaucracy?
Yeah, so be patient.
It'll take a while, but the innovators will actually grab this, and those that need the money, that want the money, will reach for and embrace the money, and they will be enriched by it, and there will be others that will resist it. But that entire shockwave, right, that explosion in legitimacy, that happened just a few weeks ago, happened on a Thursday night in the White House. And that's profound. We are legitimate. And as I've said before, if Bitcoin's not going to zero, it's going to 1 million, right? It's either nothing or it's something. And if it's something, then it's going up.
How can you not be bullish when you listen to videos like I've just run on this show? I am so bullish, I couldn't even convey it through this camera because you'd think I'm a madman and I've lost my mind. But I'm so bullish on what we've discovered, those of us that were open-minded enough to find out what it's all about, where we've come to in the short, it's 8 years come May the 23rd for me, so not quite 8 years, but how far we've come in just 8 short years, and where the heck this thing is going over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. I'm just so bullish. So why aren't you if you're not? I just want to quickly shout out, who did I see? I saw Glyn in the chat. I also saw It's Just a Ride. Welcome in, everyone. So really, that's your show. I wanted to really make it bullish, put some videos in place. We're going to whip back over to the desktop. I found this quote from the great Brian Tracy. Resolve in advance to persist until you succeed, no matter what the difficulty. Now, in Bitcoin terms, that is holding through the highs, the lows, the dramas that go on, the FTXs and everything else that we've seen in the time that I've been in Bitcoin. And you buy, you hold, you stay strong, you stack. And I'll tell you something, all this is just noise. That is all it is. So resolve in advance to persist until you get what you want, no matter how hard it gets, is what this is really saying. If you want to support the show, and you don't have to, my new one at the top is the UKBitcoinMaster app, orangepillapp.com. 3 others. There's a buy me a cup of coffee address there if you want to, but you don't have to. And as I've said a million times before, I do not run this show for financial gain. It is not monetized. People want to support the show. I've just shown you how you can if you want to. If you're new for the first time, please remember, again, no financial advice here, so don't come looking for it. Do your own research. Here's my advice. Click subscribe. Follow me. Click the bell button and click all, and you'll be notified. I go live every Monday and every Thursday at 6 p.m. here in the United Kingdom, and I do my absolute best to inspire people to stack more Bitcoin, stay patient, stay strong, tune out the noise, short time, low time preference. In other words, stack for the future. For those of you that have not yet seen the video that I uploaded on Saturday around investing in a traditional bank against investing monthly in Bitcoin, go and watch it, because loads of people have reached out privately and said that was just so helpful. It's enabled me to really properly orange pill my daughters, my ex-wife and her fella. So go watch it. It was uploaded. It wasn't a live stream. It was uploaded on Saturday. But that's it. I'm done. I'm out of here. Going to leave you with my social media links. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all of your support. I really appreciate it. If you haven't hit the like button, do so. Please remember to go back into the show after the stream has ended, refresh your browser and leave a comment, because it really actually does help spank that YouTube algorithm. So I'm Brian, the UK Bitcoin Master. This was your Bullish Bitcoin Show for the 24th of March, 2025. And I will be back on the 27th with another one. See you all then.
Bitcoin and things like it is the equivalent of the red pill.